Stephen King's It was a miniseries that was released in November of 1990, and it had two parts to it, and that was based off of Stephen King's very popular novel called It. This told the story of 7 friends that called themselves the Losers Clubs that all experienced traumatic past with a demonic dancing clown called Pennywise. When they were younger in the 50s, they gained together to try to destroy this evil being that haunted their life and fed off of their fears. They came together and promised each other that if it ever came back, they would team up together and try to destroy it once again. And this movie opens up with them as adults and getting phone calls saying that it has returned. And they're all kind of remembering these moments of Pennywise the dancing clown that haunted their life in their small hometown in Maine. This 2-part miniseries ran for about 3 hours long. And with it being a mini-series on television, I do feel that it's very limited in what they can air on television. Because if you read it, it is a very gruesome and detailed novel that a lot of things aren't allowed to be on television. So with it being a mini-series, there was a lot of limitations. And at times, I really do think that affects this movie. When watching it, I don't find this movie to be that terrifying. I remember growing up and seeing the poster for this movie all over local video stores like Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, and one of my local home ones called Home Video Express. I saw this poster and was instantly terrified. And a lot of my friends were in elementary and said that they saw it and told me to go see it because it was the scariest movie they've ever seen in their life. I didn't want to see it. Nothing could persuade me to see this movie. I did see it in college, and I saw it a couple days ago. For a being known as a child killer, we don't get to see much of him killing kids, and I do think that lacks some suspenseful, terrifying moments. Pennywise's presence is scary to me, but his actions aren't. A lot of it is him staring at the kids and then showing his sharp razor teeth. And I think that this movie relies heavily on the fact that people are afraid of clowns. That's why a lot of people don't want to see this movie, because they're afraid of clowns. And I think this movie relies heavily on it. And the makeup on Tim Curry is perfect. And I do think that Tim Curry did an amazing job portraying this creature, but I feel like there was a lack of terrifying moments of him being a true child killer. There's so much they could have reached in this movie, but with it being a miniseries, there was those limitations, and I do think that it affects this. I really enjoyed the first half of this miniseries where they are kids, and a lot of the movie is them bonding together and having a memorable summer that was about friends and overcoming your fears. And I really do like that aspect of the movie. I do think all the child actors did a great job in here, and I always forget that Seth Green was in this movie, but I do think that all of the child actors did a great job in here, and all of them captured that real sense of friendship, and they're there to protect each other. Now, I'm not saying that the second half is bad, but I do not feel that same amount of friendship that they all had as a kids, and I know that they've been apart for almost 30 years, but I just didn't really feel that sense of protection against each other and friendship. It just felt like it was lacking in the second half of the film. Overall, I thought it was a decent film. I've only seen it a couple times, and if I watched this as a kid, I'm sure I would have been terrified. But as an adult, I don't find this movie to be that scary. I mean, the poster is scary alone, and I remember seeing it and just being truly terrified, and I'm just not really terrified with this movie. I think that, like I said, this movie relies heavily on the fact that people are afraid of clowns, and that's why they think that this movie is actually terrifying. But with a 1,000-page novel, there's so many weird things in that book, and it's so gruesome from the very beginning that the limitations really hindered it from being a truly terrifying experience. And that's why I'm excited for the new movie, with it being in theaters and not having those limitations. I'm really curious about the new movie It. But for right now, I'm going to give Stephen King's miniseries It a B-. I'm not saying it's a bad film, because it was a great experience. I do like watching this film, but things they could have reached, the potential this movie could have had, really could have made it an awesome movie, and it just didn't have that. And I think it being a mini series on television definitely hindered it from being that great epic movie that this book really is. Stick around for my review for the 2017 Stephen King version of It. I am truly excited to see that movie. I would say that is my second most anticipated movie of the year, behind Star Wars The Last Jedi. I cannot wait to get a review out for you guys this weekend. Remember to hit that like button down below, and that bell notification gets all my movie reviews and videos first right when I upload them. You guys are the best as always. This is Justin Watches Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.